Hello and welcome to the IELTS Masterclass brought to you by Coaching Square. This is your host Rinav Patel, ready to guide you through the maze of IELTS myths, facts and everything in between. If you are wondering whether IELTS stands for I'm extremely lost in test of skills, don't worry, you're not alone. But by the end of this episode, you will be far from lost. Today's topic, IELTS exam overview with myths and facts. We'll debunk the ridiculous, embrace the real, and maybe crack a joke or two along the way. Spoiler alert, yes, you can laugh and learn simultaneously. So let's begin with the basics. The International English Language Testing System, or IELTS, is your passport to studying, working, or living abroad. It's a globally recognized test that assesses your proficiency in English across 4 skills: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. There are 2 variations: academic for them or applying for the student visa, I would say for aspiring students, and second is general training for work or immigration purposes. And let's clear up this right away. No, IELTS is not a lie detector test. You're not being interrogated. It's just a tool to evaluate how well you can communicate in English. So take a deep breath and stop Googling, can I fail IELTS if I look nervous? The IELTS exam is divided into 4 modules: listening, reading, writing, and speaking, each designed to test different aspects of your English proficiency. Let's break them down. Let's begin with the listening module. The listening test lasts 30 minutes with an additional 10 minutes to transfer your answers from the question paper to the OMR sheet. That's optical mark recognition sheet for the uninitiated. Here's how it works. During the first 30 minutes, you listen to 4 parts and answer 40 questions on the question paper. The 4 parts are structured as follows. Part 1 is a dialogue based on a social context like booking a hotel or registering for a course. Second part is a monologue such as a guided tour or an announcement. Third part is a discussion often among 3 or 4 people about an academic topic. And the fourth part is a lecture on a subject typically academic. There are 10 question types ranging from multiple choice to map labeling, and every part contains 10 questions. Pro tip: pay attention, you'll only hear the recording once, and if you are the type who zones out mid-conversation, this test might feel like a surprise quiz. To avoid that, train your ears. For a deep dive into these question types and proven strategies, join our IELTS listening sessions at Aspire Square. Visit our website www.aspiresquare.com for details on the nearest branch. Now let's turn into reading module. The reading module is 60 minutes long with no extra time to transfer your answers to the OMR sheet. That means you need to write your answers directly as you find them. The reading test includes 3 passages covering topics from social, historical, or academic contexts. 40 questions spread across 14 question types such as matching headings, multiple choice, and sentence completion. Timing is everything here. Spend about 20 minutes per passage and focus on skimming and scanning. And no, this isn't a reading marathon. You're not expected to read every word. Just look at answers efficiently. Want to master these 14 question types? Join our offline sessions at Aspire Square, where expert trainers simplify the process. Branch details are available at www.aspiresquare.com. Now about the writing module, it consists of 2 tasks to be completed in 60 minutes. Task 1. We have two different styles of task one, I would say categories. For academic candidates, they have to write a 150-word report based on a graph, chart, table, or diagram. In total, we have 9 question types here in the academic writing task 1. And for general training candidates, they have to write 150 plus words letter, kind of formal, semi-formal, or informal. These 3 are the question types. In any which ways, task 1 has to be finished in 20 minutes. Task 2 is same for both of the training modules, and we have to finish task 2 in 40 minutes. So in task 2 we have 250 plus words essay in response to a question or statement discussing issues like education or environment or technology. There are total 12 question types that one needs to cater on. Use of a formal tone, structure your answers well, and avoid repeating the same vocabulary. If your essay sounds like this problem is very bad because it is bad and make everything worse, you are in trouble. Instead, elevate your language with words like detrimental, adverse, and substantial. Need more guidance? Aspire Square trainers are here to help you perfect your writing game with step-by-step strategies. Finally, the speaking test. This is a one-on-one conversation with an examiner and lasts around 11 to 14 minutes, divided into 3 parts. Part 1 is introduction and general questions about familiar topics like hobbies, work, or family. The tip is, if asked about your favorite book, don't reply with a Facebook. Part 2, a cue card task where you speak for 1 to 2 minutes on a given topic. And part 3 is a deeper discussion where the examiner asks you abstract questions related to part 2. Speak naturally, don't memorize responses, and remember, it's a conversation, not a TED talk. You're not here to impress with big words, just fluency, coherence, and accuracy. To refine your speaking skills, book a session with us at Aspire Square. Will help you conquer your hesitation and ace the test with confidence. So now it's myth busting time. The first myth that we have is native speakers don't need to prepare for IELTS. The audacity of this myth. Even native speakers often fail to score band 9 because IELTS isn't about speaking casually like, "Oh mate, give me a cup of tea." It's about using formal academic English. So whether you're from Sydney or Surat, Vancouver or Vadodara, Austin or Ahmedabad, Vienna or Vidyanagar, preparation is the key. The second myth that we have is the examiner is out to get you. Let me tell you this, IELTS examiners are not villains from a crime thriller. They are trained professionals assessing your performance objectively. They are not thinking, let's deduct points because I don't like their accent. So relax. And please don't practice fake British accents. You are taking IELTS, not auditioning for Downton Abbey. Third myth that we have is you need perfect grammar to get a high score. While grammar is crucial, it's not the sole decider of your score. Communication is key. If you say the cat chased the dog and the dog ran away instead of the dog chased the cat, the examiner won't faint. They are looking for coherence, not storytelling perfection. Fourth myth that we have is memorize answers guarantee success. Memorized answers are the IELTS equivalent of showing up to a cooking show with instant noodles. Sure, it's an attempt, but it lacks originality and substance. Examiners can easily spot memorization, so focus on being natural and relevant instead. Now let's discuss some fun facts about IELTS. Fact number 1. The speaking test is a one-on-one conversation, not a verbal duel. The examiner isn't there to argue with you. If they ask, "What's your favorite book?" and you answer, I don't like books, but I love podcasts, they won't grasp in horror. Just speak confidently and naturally. Fact number two, the listening test isn't about guess the accent. While you hear a mix of British, Australian, and even American accents, IELTS is not trying to confuse you. The recordings are clear and the accents are neutral. Unless, of course, you hear something like put the jumper on the boot and you are left wondering if you are packing a sweater and kidnapping someone. Fact number three is spelling matters, but creativity doesn't count against you. If you spell accommodation with one C or one N, that's a deduction. But if you spell it as accommodation, please don't fail me, kind of ACCOMMODATIONPLEASEDONTFAILME, well, that's just overkill. Stick to correct spellings. Fact number four, the reading test isn't a speed reading championship. You don't need to read every word in the passage. Skimming and scanning are your best friends. Think of it like looking for Wi-Fi at a coffee shop. You're only focused on what's essential. So now let's discuss how to ace IELTS by applying some actionable tips. The primary tip that I would like to highlight here is practice makes perfect. Use authenticated IELTS practice materials. Remember, you can't ace IELTS by just being watching English shows with subtitles. Though, if you are hooked up on Friends, at least practice saying how you're doing in the speaking test. Second tip is vocabulary building. Aim to use words like substantial, remarkable, and phenomenon instead of good, nice, or thing. Avoid phrases like it's lit unless you are referring to a fire you physically ignited. Third tip is be natural in speaking. If you fumble, don't panic. Just say, pardon me. Let me rephrase that. Confidence is your secret weapon. And no, speaking faster doesn't make you sound smarter. It just makes you sound out of breath. The fourth tip is time management. Keep track of time during all sections. In writing, spend 20 minutes on task 1 and 40 minutes on task 2. Don't get stuck composing the next Shakespearean sonnet in task 1. Alright folks, that's a wrap for today's episode. I hope I've busted some myths, clarified some facts, and maybe even made you chuckle a bit. Remember, IELTS isn't an impossible mountain to climb. It's more like a hill with a clear path, provided you are prepared. So ditch the myths, embrace the facts, and start preparing smartly. If you found this episode helpful, share it with a fellow IELTS aspirant, and don't forget to follow the IELTS Masterclass brought to you by Coaching Square. For more tips, tricks, and of course, a sprinkle of humor, until the next time, this is your host Rinav Patel signing off. Keep learning, keep laughing, and keep aiming high. Have a wonderful day ahead.